Hey guys, I wanted to jump on here today and to go ahead and give you my third week update. I skipped last week. I'm sorry. The week just got away from me, and then by the time that I was gonna have a chance to film week two, then I'm like, there's just no point in this because I'm just about to need to film week three, and there wasn't enough of a difference that I felt between my 2 and 3 week journey. Um, to really update. So we just skipped week two, and I will go over it though. I've got my notes and everything that I took, and I'll kind of give you some updates. So in week two of Carnivore, restarting my journey, I only lost a pound. Now, some of that I think is my fault. Not because I cheated, not because I did anything that I shouldn't have done, except I did do something. I decided to quit coffee. I chose to quit coffee altogether in week two, and with doing so, I thought, oh, maybe it'd be a great idea to do like a real detox during this time so that I can get all of that kind of out of me and hopefully kind of move along with the caffeine getting it out of me. Well, that was a big mistake. I have used the same detox that I took for years and have always loved it, but this time it really did not agree with me. It made me in such pain. It wasn't like that it didn't do what it was supposed to do. I would say it definitely cleans you out, but and it's the Oxy powder brand. I can't remember. Oh, I'm trying to think of who actually produces it, but it's a doctor that produces it, and it's kind of a well-known pushed. But I used it before it was really well-known pushed on Instagram and all of the social medias and stuff like that. And I've always liked it, but again, I chose to do that. Which, whenever I thought about it afterwards, I'm like, I introduced plants into my system, which the plants were made to detox you, to get everything out of your system. So, of course, it wreaked havoc on my body, and it left me in horrible cramps. And there for about 2 days, I could tell that I was like, where I had a boost of energy back, I felt like I was really sluggish and just felt like crap. Just literally felt like crap. So I would definitely say, even though that I did the detox all the time on my last carnivore journey, that is something that I don't plan on doing this time because I just had such a horrible experience that I don't want to have to go through that again. It was bad. But I would say that my cravings were kind of lowering. I was wanting more hot foods than anything, like soups or stews and stuff like that is what I was really craving. So I made a lot of dishes that, like I made a hamburger soup that was delicious, and then, or we called it a cheeseburger soup because we did add cheese in there. And I did like just some stewed meat and put some extra water in there to make a broth and everything like that. And so those kind of foods were more comforting in week two. And so I was getting some leg cramps in week two. I was slightly bored with food. I can tell you that I was missing just some different foods. I was missing some vegetables come week two. Week one, I think you're really excited. You're really pumped. You're kind of like set yourself up to do this. And then by week two, I had, of course, cut out all my coffee, and I did that detox. So I was feeling like crap for a couple of days in it. And with all of that going on, it just kind of, it definitely put a damper on my week two. But on the positive side, my acne was definitely clearing up on week two. I could definitely see some positive change with that. My energy level went back up. I could see an increase, and then I did the detox, and then I saw for those couple of days I was crap. And then after that, I definitely saw another boost in my energy. So that was a really good. I could see that the clarity in my mind and just how I could make decisions and dealing with stress and all of those things were getting a little easier. I would not say they were just super sharp. They weren't like what the crazy outcome that I was expecting from my first journey. But again, like I was carnivore for 6 months. So this is just at week 2. I can see a positive move in that. I had some kind of gums. My gums were a little bit inflamed. And in week 2, I could start to see that really taking a positive change of healing. And still, no bloating or gas. And even when I did the detox, I could see, like a lot of times the detoxes, you'll kind of feel like bloated before you will actually finish and like get everything cleaned out of you. But still, even during that detox, I did not feel the bloatingness that I had been used to whenever I had plants in my diet. And I did start working out again in week 2. Probably after my detox is when I started that. Just basic, simple. I would do some sit-ups and some push-ups. Just very, very light. I don't want to stress my body. I am breastfeeding, and so at that point, I don't want to like just go hardcore all at once and stress to make, kind of any chance of having problems in my milk supply. That's another thing. If you're on carnivore or worried about doing carnivore because the fact that you're afraid that it will kind of hinder your milk supply at all if you are breastfeeding, I would say that I have had nothing but great experiences in that regard. I've never had, and even on my second journey, whenever I started, or my first journey, whenever I started carnivore, I was breastfeeding then, and I had no problems at all supplying milk to my baby. So that's a good thing to just kind of note for anybody that's in that point. So again, week 2, I had only lost 1 pound. And again, I feel like that if I didn't have kind of screwed up my body a little bit, then maybe I would have done differently. Maybe not. I was kind of okay with that. And I just went, all right, we're doing good. We're moving on. So week 3, still no coffee. Week 3 would have been yesterday, was whenever I finished week 3. So I'm doing a little bit better on getting you caught up this week. So I lost a total during week 3 of 2.4 pounds. So as of now, from the finishing out my week 3, I have lost a total of 2 or 3 pounds is how it is. I forgot to write it down, but it's like 9.2 or 3. I think it's 9.3 pounds if I'm not mistaken. But total for 3 weeks, that's 9.3 pounds. And that's one of the reasons why I wasn't freaking out that I didn't lose a whole lot in my second week, given everything. But 2.4 pounds, to some may think that's not a whole lot, and to others they may think that that's like too much to lose in a week. You hear it both ways. I feel really comfortable with that. As I've said before, for my previous journey, I found that my body doing carnivore and like working out and being very active, I lost about 10 pounds a month until I got to like my weight that I was down and just consistent. And in all reality, I did that in 4 months, 4 or 5 months. Yeah. So 9.3 pounds. That's good. I'm like super excited. I feel great. My energy level has definitely had a boost. And I think that you'll see, like some days you'll find that your energy is up, and then some days that you'll find that I think a lot deals with sleep. As I've said, I have 6 little ones at home that are full-time crazy. And right now I'm by myself with them as my husband is on a hunting trip. So well, I guess I have 5 of them at home right now by myself, but it's a lot of constant getting up at nights. Somebody kind of needs me throughout the night. We have an older dog too that gets me up. So my sleep is crap right now. I think on my watch, I scored a 30 last night. So that can be good for some of my nights because I have scored ridiculously low, like a number 2, and just kind of blow my mind of like, are you sure this watch is correct? Because I do get crappy sleep. But so I feel like a lot of my energy kind of ups and downs are due to sleep and the lack of sleep. So that's something that I'm going to be trying to work a little bit better on. And as everyone in the house gets a little bit better with that, that'll be a positive kind of mark. So my energy levels were really good. Stress levels, they're definitely more manageable. I can see that positive. I would say there are a lot of the same between like 2 and 3. And I don't want people to think that you're just going to overnight feel everything of the positive changes that can come from carnivore. That's not how it works. That's the reason why I'm trying to break it really down for you and document for myself of like what happened week by week so that I can genuinely give you some good information on what was, my involvement of like what I saw week by week. So my psoriasis is definitely getting a little better. The flaking, I would say, is very, very minimal whenever it was horrible, like very out of control. So I would definitely say that my psoriasis is benefiting greatly on the carnivore diet. And I would definitely say too that it's by no means gone yet. That is the goal in mind. That has happened before, and I am working on that happening again. So for anybody that's got psoriasis out there, I know how horrible it can be, how just depressing it can be. I'm very lucky that I have it on myself in places that I can cover up, but on my head, the flaking at times would be so bad that was just embarrassing to me. I was worried all the time if I got it on my shirt or on my coat or anything. And so trust me, that along of the benefits that I've gotten from the 3 weeks from doing this is definitely worth the challenge. So I'm no longer feeling cold. You know how like in week 1, I was always chilled, and kind of even a little bit week 2. And I promise it's not the temperatures, because it's actually colder here in Alaska right now than it was the last couple of weeks. It was 7 above today. Very grateful for it still being 7 above. But before that, it had been in the higher teens, even the higher 20s. So it's definitely not a thing with my house, like temperature wise and everything like that, because everything's still set the same. So that's kind of interesting. I think that possibly it could be part of the detoxing and just trying to regulate your body and your hormones and getting everything back in balance from being fed all this crazy crap. And now it's getting fed real whole foods that your body is intended to. And my gums have definitely week by week progressed of getting better, less inflamed, less bleeding whenever I brush my teeth. So that's definitely a very big positive. My acne is basically gone this week. So by week 3, I'm not really having any breakouts, really any skin irritation. And I am definitely not the best person about washing my face every night. I kind of like take care of everybody else, and then at nighttime, a lot of times I crash as soon as I like can get a moment to myself. So I've got to get better at that. That's one of the things that I want to really get back into, is really cleansing off my face. And I feel like whenever you go on the carnivore journey, you find so many different things that you're like, I've done this and I've seen how much better I can feel. And so it kind of like boosts your energy to want to wrap up and clean up some of your other things. And for me, it's washing my face every night. So I do get full pretty quick now. I've said before, carnivore fills me up really quickly, where if I was eating a bunch of plants and with meat, then I could eat a whole lot more. And with carnivore, I don't know if it's kind of, I do tend to just like get full, or if it's a boredom thing. I'm not sure yet, because I am a little bit slightly bored. There are some things that I've been introducing to try to make it not as boring. But one of the things that I did this during week 3 is I love London broils. London broils is one of the cheaper cuts of meat that you can make. and it is absolutely delicious if cooked right. And I cooked a lot of London roll. Well, I cooked one and it fed me for many days this week. So it's not that I would say that I'm bored. It's the meat just really fills me up. So I look at that on a positive side too, because I am not the kind of person that just wants to sit and eat and eat and eat. And I see a lot of carnivores and they eat a lot. Like they eat a lot. I don't eat as much as what I see other people do. So if you're the kind of person that's like me, I am doing great on carnivore. I was so worried that maybe this time I wouldn't do as great because everything now is pushed butter, 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 butter. You need to put butter on everything. And I do. I do use butter with a lot of the foods that I'm eating. And I use bacon grease a lot with the foods that I'm cooking in a pan or whatever. But I really don't eat as much as what a lot of people do. A lot of times I won't eat 3 meals a day, or if I do eat more than 1 meal a day, they're kind of smaller meals at a time, and I eat until I'm full and I stop. So I would say one of the things, I am craving coffee. Like I want coffee so bad. I have held out. I'm pretty proud of myself with that for sure. But I do miss my coffee still. I think for me, it's more of like a cozy, warm feeling. It's cold here in Alaska. You go out, you run errands, and it's just so nice to have a cup of coffee to warm you up. And for me, I really do enjoy the taste of coffee, but I'm sticking strong with that. One of the things that I did find was some of the Fairlife milk that you guys know I really enjoy. And some people whine about that. Some people won't. But for me, it has worked and I do enjoy it. So I haven't been having my coffee, so I haven't been really using that at all. But this week, one day, I was just so cold and really I'd been out working, kind of doing stuff in the yard and wanted something to warm up to. So I just simply, for like, it was for 1 cup of the Fairlife milk, it was 6 carbs, which 6 carbs is a lot. I'm not gonna like throw it out there saying it's nothing, but whenever you look at it, I'm getting a full cup of milk considering things. And it was one thing whenever I'm not taking in very many carbs at all, because I would say any carbs that I ever have are like a sauce, a dipping sauce on the side. And I really, really limit and watch myself on what I allow myself to have. So for me to take 6 carbs, yes, that's a lot for me to take in at one time, whenever I normally definitely have maybe just a few carbs a day. But for this instance, I took a glass of milk, 1 cup for the 6 carbs, and warmed it up, just warmed the milk and drank that and was totally fine with it. Like it hit the spot. It was delicious. It was what my body felt like it needed, that warmth and boost and everything. And I don't personally have a problem, or I've not seen a problem with having dairy. So if you're dairy tolerant, I didn't say intolerant, I said dairy tolerant, then maybe that's something, if you're like me and you are craving, something hot and you don't take in a bunch of carbs, or if you're a keto person, maybe that's something that you look at, because I really did find that helpful to more or less get over my craving. And if that right there can get me through, then I will take my 6 carbs and have it. So week 3, I have bumped up a little bit more exercising, not a tremendous amount, but that is one of the things that I'm just doing a little bit more. Dr. Kiltz is great with talking about doing 100 of whatever, like if you're doing 100 push-ups, well, not just 100, but like if you're doing push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups and all this thing, then count whatever you're doing and add it up to 100. And so I'm kind of going on that same basis of I'm trying to keep up with him. He's always one to keep up with, but just getting my body a little bit more toned, and I do feel like I can see and feel a difference. So just that little bit, a little bit more that I'm pushing in the carnivore journey. I did work out before, and that's my journey. I plan to. Not everybody has to. I don't think that you have to lose weight, but I definitely feel like that it benefits you in losing weight and toning your body and getting you to just feeling how you would like to feel, if you want to go that route. So let that. And I feel like the more that you do carnivore and the better you feel and like the more energized you are, you feel like working out, where at first you don't really feel out working out, because a lot of us have had to hit like rock bottom before we're willing to jump into it, and then at that point you just don't feel like working out. So to each their own. But yeah, so that's my week 3 update. I've got a lot of positives and not a whole lot of negatives. More or less, I'm just missing my coffee, and a little bit bored, I'll say that. So well, I hope that you enjoyed this update. I hope that it was maybe helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. My kiddos are calling me now.